time to shake your tape swiftly.
Where am I? Oh. What's this? So much rain beats me.
Ladies and boys and girls, we are back. Get ready. It's about to go off on Toxic Femininity, brought to you by Midnight. We've got some strong, brave, and stunning Monday night. Roar, that's right. Welcome once again, everybody, to the program. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. There we go. That's right. Let the ladies know you're happy to see them back. That's right. Smash the likey button. Welcome, everybody, once again to Midnight's Edge, where we're presenting you. Here, let me fix my audio. Toxic Femininity, brought to you by Midnight's Edge. Hopefully I'm not too boomy now. But welcome, everybody, to the program. We've got with us tonight, welcome back, Carolyn. It's been too long. How you been, darling?
Hello, I'm great. This time last week, I was actually with this lovely lady.
Woo.
Kind of running around the...
Yes. Running around
so
Universal.
much fun.
And that, of course, is Steph, a.k.a. My Nerdy Home. How you doing?
Hello. Yeah, fresh off of MegaCon, I had a nice, I think I slept for about 3 days once that was all over to rest. I miss Kara, though. I miss Kara a lot.
I was so busy that entire convention.
Yeah.
I had a few people come up to me and was just like, "Oh my god, I've watched you on Toxic Femme with Nina and everybody," and it was so awesome.
Yay! Toxic Femme got
wow.
mentioned. That's so good.
Yes.
Aw,
Yes, Toxic Femme
I
got
love that.
mentioned. There's people coming up to the booth just to come say hi to me. I was just like, why? Like Eric, there's actual like creators here, like Eric and Drinker and Theory was there, and
You're Toxic Femme.
What? You're the best. I don't know what you're talking about.
oh shush you.
I'm not surprised at all.
But it was oh my gosh, I got the con crud, and today is my first day like not feeling like death, and like I just got back from the gym because I finally felt good enough to go to the gym. And then the husband had dinner ready. I inhaled that. I was on the phone, and then I was just like, "Oh crap! I should probably jump into this."
Well, and did you get sick at all, Steph, or did you?
No, I
home
didn't.
good? So you
I
got.
didn't get sick. I was taking a lot of vitamin C and elderberry for a long, So I boosted my immunity before everything happened, or before the meetup and everything.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Steph knows what's up. I did the same thing.
Also back
I
again.
cold.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're feeling up to the show tonight. I know you're not feeling too hot,
good.
but we'll get to that. We got also back again, Miss Carrie Smith. Well, you're not married,
ladies.
that's right. So be Miss, yeah.
I am married.
But you are married, that's right.
I'm actually I'm Mrs. Garcia.
That's right. I was trying to
changing
think
my name like on my channel because I think that would be I could just
Carrie
say
Smith Garcia or just Carrie Garcia?
just Carrie Garcia.
Carrie
Like
Garcia just kind of rolls off the tongue like
Right.
Jerry Garcia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I could say I'm Latinx. And
She's Latinx by marriage. That's right.
adjacent. Well, my dog is and my husband is. So
I apologize. I forgot. Yeah, you are.
It's good to see you, ladies, and Tom. I've missed you. I'm glad to be here tonight. Good energy. I was gonna ask you when you were talking, Carolyn. I don't know if I've ever noticed before. Did you win at a fair? Did you go to a Pikachu like basketball hoop throwing?
No,
'cause there's a lot of them.
We have discussions and interventions about this from time to time, but
I feel like they're multiplying. I'm not gonna lie.
we get to a point where it's like, it could be worse. It could be drugs, so we just let it slide.
I have Pikachu Post-it notes. I actually just ate dinner out of a Pikachu bowl.
Oh my goodness! I had no idea.
I had Pikachu pins. Like this one, like people were gifting me Pikachu stuff. So like X-Ray Girl got me this Pikachu. Raider, who we know pretty well in here,
Yes.
he got me this Pikachu.
Oh my
Raider was
God.
at
Aw.
MegaCon.
So
That's
cute.
Sleepachu.
So Raider, the lovely Raider, got me this.
Oh, that's so
Um,
cute.
And then the Saska sisters got me this I was gonna say horrendous, but amazing. That
Wow.
Horrific, I think you mean. He's
That
scary
thing is
looking.
terrible.
That is awesome.
I
hate
love it.
It's like
I love
Hannibal
it and I
Pikachu.
hate it. And but it's a one of a kind.
It
But
is.
yes, you can see I am just surrounded by Pikachus.
Yes.
I'm gonna eat your liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I like how your camera zooms in and out.
That's
Oh,
how
it's because I've got the DSL. I'm using my my Sony
She's
camera. so-
fancy.
All fancy
Yeah.
schmancy.
Look at that.
Love
Ooh.
that.
There.
Ooh.
That.
Ooh. There we
Fancy.
go.
Now that
see
everybody's
that.
tripping out. But yes, welcome back, Carrie. We're glad to have you back. It's been too long
Aw.
since we've even had a show, let alone had you here. So yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Oh, and I have my husband and I finished this room. I don't
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
look
Look at
at
your
See
light.
that.
That is
Last-
dope.
Yeah, he figured out how to build that thing. He put he got the neon light online, but he built the soundboard in the old frame with a velvet over it and
Wow.
made it all work. And yeah, this room, man, I was upstairs in that not so great location.
Well, I see you're not bundled
So-
up anymore, so I guess
Yeah.
I
the
was
heating
just
is
about to
working.
say you're not cold anymore, huh?
Oh,
You
yeah.
got that, you got
That's a
that fixed.
plus.
Texas feels good. Well, no, we still haven't insulated under the house, but the weather changed. So
Oh, okay.
We're
Oh,
good now.
that's good.
and yeah, and I'm just so happy to be done with this room. It's like 10 weeks of renovation, and now I'm in that comfortable period of enjoying it. So
That's amazing. I
Awesome.
love that.
So you guys are really banking on that little groundhog that it was right. That spring is
He's
coming
right.
early.
yeah,
We got a tornado in Wisconsin. That's him going, look, not only am I making sure spring comes early, I'm doubly making sure spring's early. So
yes,
Wisconsin's had hardly any snow this year at all.
Wow.
It's 60 degrees right now
Yeah.
here in North Carolina.
Wow.
It was so cold in LA when I went there. I was like, what is going on?
Fuck
I've never
LA.
been. It's so cold. I was like, this is terrible. And then I went
They
to
deserve
Anna's wedding and it was in the north of California. It was even colder there. I was like, oh my God, I've never been to California when it's this cold before, but I made it. I made it. Now I'm in
Did you have a
Cancun,
good
back where the
time?
sun is shining. It's great.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, of course. I had a great
Well,
time. It was
I saw
a
some of
beautiful
her
wedding.
photos. Her dress was beautiful.
It was fantastic.
Yes.
So yes,
Anna looked
thank you.
absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you for being here, Nina. As always, we've missed you. We all have.
Thanks.
So
We
how
have
was
one more
your,
to introduce, though. We have
Oh
one
yeah,
more.
we do.
in
Michelle.
here.
Yes.
You guys
Michelle.
forgot me.
I
I
did not
didn't
mean to,
forget
but
you.
I was due a snafu, a Michelle foo.
I didn't
Okay.
forget you, Natalie. I mean, Michelle.
That's what I'm saying. I at least never fucked that up. Not once.
I was joking.
I know.
In
I'm
my
doing
defense,
good.
I'm just trying to get us through the intro so we can get to the juicy stuff here because this is a hell of a week of news.
I'm doing good. Yeah, we got lots to talk about. I stayed up late watching the Super Bowl. My friend made me bracelets. Hey, and Trav
Look
bracelets.
at those bracelets.
Look at
That is a friend. It's the one says, let's see, Super
I don't
Bowl,
want to focus.
Super Bowl 50, let's see, 58, Kelsey and Swift. Then the other one is Tay and Travis.
this. Oh my God. You're such a nerd.
So which
I love
which
bracelets.
team were you pulling for?
Do you know, I actually didn't care.
Okay.
I was just wanting a good game. And like I felt torn between both of them literally until the final moment. So I just, I didn't know. And even now I feel bad for the quarterback of the 49ers.
I was pulling for the 49ers just because like I didn't want to see the whole Taylor and Kelsey like, oh yay, celebration. I don't care how much I like Taylor. I was just like, that's enough of Taylor.
Did you see them
But also,
making
like,
out at
my
the
dad-
after
my dad's
party?
from Kansas, so like my family was going for Kansas, and I was like,
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't really care who won. Just I wanted a fun game. It was fun. It was a really good game though, so I stayed up. It was fun.
did you watch it the regular style? I watched it from the Nickelodeon broadcast, the Bikini Bottom broadcast.
I
What's
did
that?
not watch that.
What is
version.
that?
Oh my
SpongeBob
God,
and
are you
Patrick did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had okay. So look, it was the first time they've had it. So it's a Super Bowl live from Bikini Bottom, and they had two reporters, but then like SpongeBob and Patrick were there also commentating on what was going on. It's basically for very young Swifties, so they can enjoy the football game, and they were learning the game of football. They pretty much like explained everything that was happening.
Wow.
Football. It was so funny to watch. But I love SpongeBob, so that's why I watched that broadcast.
That's
And it was so
funny.
funny because like they never called Travis Kelce like Travis Kelce. I mean, like the two guy reporters that were there called him that, but they every single time they were like, "Oh yeah, Taylor Swift's boyfriend." Yeah, Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Everybody calls him that.
the whole time. Yeah, Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
I barely
calls
watched
Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
I
What's
barely
funny
watched
is like
any of the game.
what's funny
I
is
don't-
like the dude is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, like one of the best tight ends of the like in the NFL, but he's just Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't get that because I'm like, doesn't he have his own personality? Like, why did people call him Taylor
He
Swift's boyfriend?
Not
He
once you start
does.
dating Taylor Tay.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
goes
God.
way.
Well, I mean, the only thing, wow, the only thing I saw from him that I will say I don't approve of was this picture going around, and then I saw the video of it too, and I was like, that's just like
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
like.
you know what I thought of when I saw that picture?
What'd you think of?
I thought of the first Iron
That
Man
drunk
movie.
girl.
Tony
Tony
Stark.
Stark was able to build this in a cave. You know what's hilarious? You say that is
That's what
I just opened up my Facebook, and on there somebody shared that 6 hours ago. Same exact picture says Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave. Well, let me
I just-
close out some things I'll show you guys here, just so you don't believe I'm not lying.
I just see
Is that-
him saying, "I'm just Ken" or "I'm just Travis."
I mean, I've seen
Yeah,
so
6
many
hours
ones
ago.
that are like, I've seen so many like Pfizer ones that are like, did you take your booster shot? Like, you know, like stuff like that.
Yeah, those were
And
6
I
hours
think
ago.
that's
Yeah.
Hold on, Nina.
Are
I'll
the-
send the Toxic Femme chat the one I liked the best of that picture. I just sent it.
I think that did you take your booster shot one was my favorite.
You'll
Let's see.
see which one
Oh,
was
this
my
one.
favorite. If you guys have seen that video, I think you'll think it's funny.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna share it now. It says hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess, a wicked witch of the east, bro. You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong. Am I wrong? She wore a crown and she came down a bubble.
Have you
I
guys seen
did
that video where those guys they
Oh.
get so mad? He's like, bro, she was the Wicked Witch of the East, bro. Like they're talking about the Wizard of Oz, and he's getting so animated and passionate.
This has been like the biggest
Uh.
meme on the internet, like for I
Yeah.
don't know since it happened.
I still say
For the last
Cecil.
24 hours.
Yeah,
Cecil had the best take on Wizard of Oz of anybody, and
For
that is
sure.
basically
hands
that it's
down.
two bitches fighting over shoes.
Yep, it's my favorite video of his.
Yeah.
By bar none.
Wait, so is
Um,
that him? Is that the boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
That's
Taylor
JJ's
Swift's
boyfriend.
boyfriend right here. What's his name again? Something Travis?
Travis
Kelce.
Kelce.
Travis Kelce. There you go. See, I don't even know his name. He's JJ's boyfriend.
The only thing
Do you know who I am?
I
I
actually
won the Super Bowl, damn it.
I actually agreed with Ryan's take on it. I didn't like it, and I know he went over and apologized and hugged Andy Reid and said, he was sorry. But I will say this, I think like even I know in sports, I got quite a few technicals, like a very angry, passionate side of me that only comes out in sports could come out. And I could sometimes I just had to tell the refs that they sucked or they were horrible, and it came out very passionate, and my head might have jerked, and my voice got very animated, and I got technical for it. I just tell them they need to do their job a little better. But point being, if I can get that way in the heat of the moment, I think a lot of people can, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to judge someone by one moment during a Super Bowl when their adrenaline is running so high. It's all
I can totally see you doing
it a
that.
lot. I've seen it a lot in basketball because I'm a basketball girl, and I've seen that happen in basketball as well. It happens in sports. I think obviously cooler heads prevail usually. When you're such a hothead, it doesn't bode well for your team. But hey, they won, so they had the last laugh, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Can I just say that they missed it? Like, just from the quarter that I watched, there's so many holdings that were not called. So many from the Chiefs. Like, they got away with so many holds. It was bad.
Well, Kara, it's funny that you mentioned that because a lot of people seem to think that this was rigged, and Tay and Travis are like the Pfizer couple, and they're gonna now endorse Joe Biden, and it's gonna be this thing, and they're gonna win it for Joe.
Okay.
Even Joe tweeted it out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like these dynasties happen. Like you had the Jordan Bulls 3 in a row, 2 different times. You've had Golden State that's been a dynasty recently. The Lakers, the Boston Celtics, the Yankees at times, the Cowboys. Like, it happens. They have the best quarterback in the NFL. Like, how do you win games? And the best coach in the NFL. How do you win games? You have a great quarterback and a great coach. That's a recipe for winning.
Well, here's Biden.
Slack-eyed drew it up. That's right.
He posted that?
Yeah, Joe Biden posted that. That's from his Twitter.
Well, his intern posted it. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. The guy doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know where he's at.
Yeah, he was probably asleep when they posted this. It was pretty late at night.
Definitely.
He just had his ice cream and went to bed.
Yeah, he was already tuckered out.
For nothing.
He was like, "This is a long game. I'm tuckered out. I'm going to bed." And then they tweeted this out. Oh my God. And then Hillary Clinton tweeted out something too, but she said, "Congratulations, Taylor and her boyfriend," or something like that. And I was like, dude, can't even say his name. Taylor's boyfriend.
Someone else did that too. They put out a thing that said, "Congratulations, Taylor Swift, on winning the Super Bowl."
It's terrible. Poor guy can't even get the recognition he deserves. That's weird. That's just weird to me.
I don't know who this Taylor Swift is, but he sounds like a fast dude. Real fast dude.
I saw that meme Carrie posted of like the sign, like, "I don't watch American football." And I don't know who Taylor Swift is, but he sounds fast.
He sounds fast. I don't know who this football player is, but he sounds fast.
He does.
I actually thought Trump's tweet yesterday was pretty funny.
Which tweet? The one where he was
like
endorsing Tay-Tay?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny.
That was funny because he was all like,
because he wasn't mean, but it was very Trump-like. Like, why would she endorse Joe Biden? He's not done anything for her. Look at what I did for her. Like that type of thing.
It was very Trump.
It was very Trump.
There was also this bit that was going around. This is like the after party. And they're listening to Taylor Swift's music, which we won't play.
Oh, I saw that.
But they're listening to like the Romeo and Juliet song, and they're like just having a good gay old time. Because
he's wearing his gay outfit.
He was very gay throughout this whole thing, very sparkly. But they're having fun. They're having a party.
They look like they're having a great time.
People are really hating on this, and I'm like, I don't get it.
They have their bodyguards around them, so it's not like they're around. It's just the bodyguards that are super close to them, just standing there.
Yeah. But it's just funny because everybody's hating on it, and they're like, "Oh my God, these people are so evil." And I'm like,
"Well, that one bodyguard who's really getting into it, that or he's not a bodyguard. He's just
that guy in the back.
The guy in the back. I think he's like his manager or something.
He's the gay bodyguard." Travis.
You really like that Taylor Swift song.
Ain't nobody getting near my Tay-Tay. I will protect you, girl. I'm your Kevin Costner, okay?
I'll lift you up and take you to safety, girl.
I will run you to safety. That's right.
I'm sorry. I can't get over this official Joe Biden tweet with the laser eyes.
I know. I saw that the other day, Carrie.
Yeah.
I can't believe you went all over that. Yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was
like,
parody.
a parody.
I had to
account.
double check
No,
too,
it's
like
real.
2-3 times. I'm like, is this for real? Like,
And then
yeah. And even Mark Hamill retweeted it out too.
what?
Can we
It's so,
talk? So
just really
if
quickly.
we're gonna, no, go.
Well, right below it, the very next tweet is Joe Biden retweeting the official Biden-Harris headquarters account. Their main profile picture is Biden with laser eyes. That's their main profile pic, and it's an announcement with Joe Biden saying, "Hey, by the way, we just joined TikTok," and it's a little TikTok video.
Oh my god, that's so
This
bad.
is our president.
That's so
What?
cringe.
Okay, I'm done. I didn't think that was real when you showed me that, but it's real.
It's
No,
very
it's
One
real.
real.
tweet I
But-
didn't
but
expect to
every-
see today would be the Elon Musk one.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
I
the
just
Elon
put it
Musk
in the
tweet.
chat. I just put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I
That
just want to remind Carrie the adults are back in charge now.
Mhm,
Oh,
Okay.
right.
mhm. And what Kara's talking about was this
Oh.
one. And I think,
Oh, Elon. Yeah.
I mean, Elon's just been.
These
my
nuts.
yeah, he tweeted out GM, right?
Johnny.
Good morning. And then he tweeted this out.
Well, do you guys know
Elon
the
is something.
context of this?
Because of the lawsuit?
Yep.
Yes, that's
Which
Well,
what
do you
is
know
a
which
segue-
lawsuit?
I mean, yeah, like there's been a couple
'Cause
now.
no, there's this chick who worked, I think she worked at Disney. She used to be a guy, and she had her nuts in the
Oh.
refrigerator for like a year until her significant other threw them out, and now they're suing their significant other for throwing their nuts out.
Wow.
You're
And I
joking,
think that's
right?
what this is. No, I am not joking, and I think this is what this is in reference to.
I saw that story. I didn't know.
I've never heard of
See that
this.
story.
I've never heard of that either.
It was brought to my attention this morning. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Wait, but what does that have to do with Disney?
Because
Well,
it was a
Elon-
former Disney employee, or it was a Disney
Oh,
employee.
it
one of
was
the
a
two.
Disney
Yeah.
employee. Okay.
Oh my
And
god.
I mean, Elon did tell Bob Iger to go fuck
F
himself.
himself.
So
You swore and
Yeah.
I didn't. That was so adorable.
I can't believe that's a real story, Tom. I almost don't believe you. I feel like that
I'll
sounds
see if I
No,
can
scary.
find it.
Here, I've got it. It's a real story.
Oh, you
and
got
actually,
it? Awesome.
the thing is, it's two guys, right? And the one who's suing claims to
Right.
be a woman, a Muslim woman.
Okay.
What?
And he's
Yep.
suing because
Wow.
his boyfriend, oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong place here. His boyfriend threw the testicles away, which he had in the refrigerator next to the
Yep.
carton of eggs. And
Yep.
it's like, why didn't, first of all, maybe the freezer and instead of the fridge? Because how long what's the shelf life?
What the frig?
And
Wait, his nuts? Like his nuts.
yes.
Like
his
his
testicles.
His
actual
testicles.
testicles.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw this story and I was thinking,
Oh, you got it? Okay.
this is like top 2024. This is the cultural insanity. Like this is, of course,
It's top and
course.
bottom 2024, Carrie.
Wow.
Yes.
This is it.
Transgender woman loses bid to sue ex for throwing out
Oh
her
my
surgically
gosh.
removed testicles. We're talking about my nuts.
Well, why does she need nuts? Is all I'm going to ask.
I
You know?
I'm speechless about this entire thing. Like, what the fuck did I just read? I thought that was just a joke.
I
about
guess
the
I don't see
whole-
anything about Disney here, so maybe somebody just told me that as a
Oh.
joke.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't see it being.
I'm not seeing anything here about Disney.
But you
Well,
know,
I
they probably did work at Disney.
But you know what? The fact that nobody else really questioned it tells you everything you need to know.
I
Hold
just
on, I'm gonna
laughed
I'm
at
gonna see
Elon.
if there is a Disney thing. Hold on, I'm gonna. Put,
Well, the whole thing with Elon is that he's just like joking or kind of being like aloof
Antagonistic,
about
yeah.
maybe trying to purchase Disney or something and to fix it.
Well, that's what I
and-
loved about his video, Kara, when he was out with Peltz. He was almost
Yeah.
like, I'm feeling cute, might buy Disney.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
don't think he'll buy Disney, but I think he'll
Yeah, no,
buy
it's a big.
stock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and give
Yeah.
control over to Pelts. Exactly. Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
think he'll help him with that. That's what I think.
There's a lot of hurdles he'd have to go over to actually buy the company like he did with X. But yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. Yeah.
But I
Tom,
think
how
it's funny
many?
because everything that he's doing to Disney, remember before he purchased X or like made, a
Mm.
big announcement with that, he was trolling Twitter for a long
He
time.
was.
Oh yeah.
He was trolling a lot before he actually like purchased X and, made the announcement and all that. He was trolling them for a really, really long time. And he's doing the same thing with
Right.
Disney. So I'm kind of like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
You're
Yeah, that's a
trolling
good
Disney
point.
pretty hard. Are you gonna try and buy like majority share, to try and or
Yeah.
I
help
mean,
Nelson Peltz
and
get on the board, something like that, to where like you
Elon
can't
may
deny.
also have
Hmm?
Bob Iger by the nuts here pretty soon with that
Mhm.
lawsuit
Yeah.
That
he's
too.
helping fund.
Mhm.
That too.
I mean, that's
Although
exactly
Bob
what I was
Iger
gonna
has
bring
very
up.
little to do with it, but yeah, we'll have to see how that rolls.
Do
Because
we
I
know?
mean,
Do we know, Tom? Like, how many shares would Elon have to buy for it to like mean something for Peltz?
I don't know the exact number. It's just if they were to control 51% of the vote or 51% of the stock, that's all they need, right? Once they get majority, that's all it takes. But I'm not a financial analyst kind of guy. That's more Andre and Mikey's department. But yeah, like that's my understanding of it, at least, is that they have to own 51%, then they can gain control of the voting leverage or whatever.
I mean, that's all like so interesting. But I think the biggest move that he's made so far that we can, actually speak on is this whole funding, this lawsuit for
Yeah.
somebody else who also worked at Disney. And that's who the
And who
main
does
topic
not
is
have
about.
nuts?
They don't have
But
nuts.
before we get to
Well,
that,
I mean,
she's
like,
got balls of steel.
she's
That's for
got
sure.
balls.
She's
Yeah.
got ovaries of steel.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
she
wait.
But
does.
she ain't nuts.
I
It's
thought
true.
Beep's pronouns were boop. Boop.
The beep
Boop
boop.
doesn't have.
Yeah,
Beep
boop.
boop up.
Beep boop.
Beep
Bop.
boop bop. She
That.
definitely. I mean, I think she's got more balls than a lot of people in Disney. To be perfectly honest with you, but
Well, we haven't even gone through any of our super chats yet, but mind you.
yeah, that's true. We should do that.
So
There
we should
go.
do that first anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
do
I don't
that.
know if you've seen the private chat anyway, but yeah. We got Hillis Mallory
let
up
me check that.
first. Let's start with you, Kara, since she's busy there. Want to read this?
Oh, yeah. Hillis Mallory with the 34-month membership. Hello, ladies. Saw that Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, and I got to tell you, it looked good.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
personally, I'm looking forward to it. I know Tom's takes on it,
Right.
but I think it'll be fun. I haven't watched Loki season 2, so I don't know anything about that.
that was a funny way to say, like, I know Tom's takes on it. Like, shut up, Tom. I already know what you're
No,
gonna
the
say,
internet has
and
already told me
stop.
my take on it. Yeah.
Well, I heard your take on VR's chat last night too, so
That's true. She was with us last night. Yeah.
I was.
What
I
about you,
was
Steph?
like,
Are you
or I was
excited
with
to
them.
see it?
How do you want to put it?
I'm looking forward to it. I watched Loki season 1, but I didn't watch season 2. I just thought it was boring. I don't like the whole time
Mm-hmm.
people that are in
Same.
there. I don't know if I'm gonna have to watch Loki season 2 in order to understand their involvement in Deadpool, because I don't know if there was like a lead into it or anything like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds play off each other. That's pretty much what I'm looking forward to in that movie.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy the Deadpool movies, even the second one. I know it sucked more than it wasn't very good, but I like Ryan Reynolds' humor, so I enjoyed him. So yeah.
What about you, Carrie? Did you by any chance happen to catch the trailer or anything? Or
I
have you even
didn't.
seen Deadpool 1 or 2?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
sorry.
That's a good place to start. As for me, because Michelle's away right now. I'm also. I mean, I guess I'm looking forward to it as much as anybody else could be looking forward to anything that's coming out from Disney. It's I guess like this is the project that most people I think have been waiting for. I watched the trailer and I thought it was okay. Like there was a couple parts of it that I was like, like I don't like that they went into the whole like fourth wall breaking thing like immediately. Like that is, I don't usually like that kind of stuff unless it's like
I don't mind it.
really well
That's cool.
done. Yeah, but it has to be really, really well done. And they already tried it with She-Hulk and it sucked. And I was like, oh, I don't know how well they're gonna do it with Deadpool, but I have faith in Ryan. I think he's, because he's so passionate about the project and because he loves Deadpool so much, I don't think he's gonna let them like, kind of shit on it all over it. It already had his hallmark like lines in there. He even said something about Disney getting pegged, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Well, he breaks
So
the fourth wall in the first two movies. Like that's Deadpool's thing. He breaks the fourth wall.
sure, yeah, but they did it really
Which is why
right.
She-Hulk doing it was so bad because she did it wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I guess I'm worried because there's so much lack of talent now in Disney that it's like,
Well, that
ugh.
pegging line was wrong anyway. He's like, that's not new to me, but it is to Disney. It's like, bullshit. Disney has taught many a kids how to get pegged.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I guess if you look at it that way. But it I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think I'm in the camp of we'll see. Like I'll watch it and make up my mind then, but I just don't have high hopes for Disney, but I
Yeah.
guess we'll see what happens. I don't know.
A couple of things caught my eye in that trailer. When the TVA took him to the headquarters, they had on the OG Avengers on the screen. They're like, "Are you ready to become a hero?"
Yeah,
And they
I saw
had
that.
the OG Avengers. He's saluting them. He's saluting Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And not one frame was any of the new stuff. It was all the old stuff.
Then why does he need to fix it?
That's what I thought. That's what
Maybe they're admitting that the new phase is just ass, and then that would be
they
funny.
won't. They would
And then-
never do that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they did, that would be groundbreaking. Like, we admit our faults. Like, wow, that would be kind of groundbreaking. But I don't see it happening either, Tom. I don't know.
I
I'll
mean,
go
he already went
transgender
back
before that.
and he always he already went back and fixed the atrocities that was Deadpool or Wade Wilson in the previous Fox movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he has previously trashed on Marvel stuff before.
Yeah.
So hopefully Disney will let him do his thing.
I
Because
hope
like
so.
I've already said this before, like Disney is really freaking stupid if they didn't let Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds, because
Yeah.
that is what succeeds. That is what people want, is they want Ryan Reynolds humor as Deadpool, and they want to see this right here, this banter. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's what I'm liking too.
Being a sequel to all these WandaVision and Loki and all these other shows, I realized after seeing this trailer, I don't want Deadpool in the MCU. Now, full disclosure, I didn't care for the second film. I thought it was a huge downgrade. And I think part of the problem
it wasn't as good as the first.
was that Ryan Reynolds had a lot more control over that film and didn't have anybody else to kind of work with on that one, like Tim Miller in the first one.
But think of what he did with Detective Pikachu still too.
I don't know. I never watched
he
that. You
has-
would know
That was good. That was a good movie.
I love Detective Pikachu. I
It was
thought it was
cute.
fantastic.
Yeah. It was really
And it
cute.
had that Ryan Reynolds touch to it.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. Like, it had a lot of like the nostalgia, but it also had his humor, which I really, really enjoy. So
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to find his because there
It's
was
rated
another
R,
one
right?
that
It is.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think so. Yeah.
yes.
There was another one that he had made with like another poster one that said like, we're not like, I think it was actually Hugh Jackman that said like friends is or best is a stretch, so is friends or something like that.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
what it
that.
was, and I was like, oh, that's good. I like the marketing they're doing for it so far. Like that's hyping up what's gonna happen, because that is what everybody wants to see, really, is the combo of the two. I think everybody else maybe they're just reserving their judgment, just like us, because we all know, like, everybody deep down knows Disney's been sucking, but it's like, okay, let's see what these two guys can do. If anybody can pull a magical movie, it'll probably be this team that does it.
Well, there is right within the trailer an acknowledgement that Disney sucked lately. That's why he says they're calling me the Messiah, or whatever,
Marvel Jesus.
Marvel Jesus.
Yeah, because I mean that's an acknowledgement of they need saving.
Yeah, or like what is it called? What happened to Jesus again? Sorry,
Not reincarnate.
Not
reincarnate.
resurrection.
Resurrection. Disney
Yeah,
needs like
that
a
word.
resurrection. That's what it needs. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I agree with you, Tom, though, because I'm so hesitant about all the the shows. I mean, I never, just like you, Steph, I never watched Loki season 2. That show was ass. Like, I was like, I'm not watching any more of
I watched
this.
season 1 because of Tom Hiddleston, and I love the character of
Mhm.
Loki, and it
Same.
was terrible. I didn't
It
like
was
it.
so bad. So was WandaVision. WandaVision was terrible. I mean, like, it started out great and then ended terribly. So like a lot of their shows have been just awful. So I don't, yeah, they do need somebody to fix it. So maybe it is Deadpool. I don't know. Somebody needs to pull this Disney they need to put this trash fire out.
I mean,
Let's see
my
what
take
happens.
on it is, will it probably be as good as the first one? Probably not. I think that's probably the max Deadpool you can get, like the best it can be, because it was fresh and new and something different at the time. This trailer, and we did react to it, by the way. Just gonna plug that out if you want to see it. But my thing that I said, which kind of takes some of the MCU fans off, which is very easy to tick off. Like, I'm already gonna go see it, so I didn't need the trailer to sell me, but the trailer didn't get me like pumped. It was just kind of like, yeah, okay. It's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
fun.
it did that for me too, but just because of the fourth wall stuff, I was like, But then I liked the parts where like Deadpool was doing the gun stuff and he's like,
Yeah,
putting his like gun in the
really
air, and I was like, ooh, that looks fun. Like that, that kind of stuff looked fun. And then the other stuff, not so much. I was like,
I
this is a
expect
mix.
it to be entertaining. It's just how entertaining. That's
Yeah.
kind of a question for me.
Yeah, and like, I mean, yeah, again, entertaining and less of a message. Like, how much messaging is there going to be in this? Because every other Disney movie's been just so full of like the message, and I don't see so much of that in this, at least not in the trailer. So again, we'll see. When's it coming out again?
June. It's like
July.
the last Friday in July. I mean, technically
July
Thursday.
26th.
There you go.
Okay, so hopefully it won't be delayed, and then we'll see what happens. Good member message. A lot of conversation. And then we got Keith J here for $2. Says, "Hail Toxic Fam! Good to see
Hey,
you all.
Keith.
Yay! Glad to be back. Thank you." And then I think it's Carrie's turn. Go ahead, Carrie.
Grafweb, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, for the good Lord's sake, #cancel Disney Plus.
Yeah. You know who I heard? Like, this is not to do with Disney Plus, but I heard Amazon's also getting sued because of the
I
whole.
saw that.
Like, that just popped up that they're like, I guess they put some price hikes that they weren't supposed to. It was supposed to be included in their prices or something.
Well, do you know what it is? I thought that was interesting. I saw you post that, Nina, because I've been watching Amazon Prime, and literally over the course of like a weekend, I came back to start watching what I was watching. All of a sudden, there was limited commercials.
There's limited commercials.
Yes.
I noticed that too the other night. I was like, what is this? It's new? I didn't understand it. Yeah.
They're only in the very beginning, like the first 30 seconds of the show. At least that's what I've really.
Yeah, like mine say in a 42-minute episode, there will probably be 3 commercials. One at the beginning, one somewhere in the middle.
In the middle and then the end, yeah.
That's what like Hulu used to do. Hulu
Yeah.
used to do that. And then, I mean, Amazon kind of advertised it as not doing that. And I remember a while ago, Netflix said that they were going to start doing that, but then they haven't yet. But then they also said that we're going to start doing that for like the base membership. And then if you pay like a certain amount of money, then that won't happen anymore. But they still haven't started doing that as far as I know. But then this is from Culture Cray, says Amazon is being sued after raising Prime Video prices. A lawsuit says it's deceptive to charge $3 extra after advertising Prime was commercial free for years. Subscribers must now pay extra to get something they already paid for.
Yeah.
So that's where I wonder if it's like a class action, because it's not really
It is. It's a class action suit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, well, I mean, anything to stick it to the man. I'm like, yeah, let's see it. Like, all
right,
good. Yeah, pay up, Bezos. So I like that. Go for it, Stephanie. I think it's for you as well.
White girl hoeing.
Hoeing?
White girl. I said hoeing. White girl hoeing for 2. Stephanie, the Chiefs are in Missouri, not Kansas. Yeah, I have no idea. My mom just like was like, "Hey, yay, we're cheering for Kansas." I was like, "Okay." I have no idea. Neither
Kansas,
does my mom. I don't follow football. I don't know where these
half
places
of
are.
Kansas
I don't
City is
either.
in Kansas, and the other half is in Missouri.
Wow,
It's so weird.
that is
Yeah.
weird. Go ahead, Kara. It's all
Oh,
you.
Jason Webster with the 10 Australian. Disney Star Wars episode. I can't read what that is.
18? What? I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 18.
18. The Princess Returns, the fandom menace, led by Obi-Wan Peltz and Han Musk, are emboldened by the return of Princess Gina and their war against the Disney Empire.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm here for
Yeah.
that.
Although I also heard, like, speaking of serious news, apparently like serious Star Wars news, apparently Samuel Jackson wants to
Yeah, he wants his own movie or
yeah, he
show or
wants his own
something.
TV show as
Yeah.
Of
Mace
course he
Windu.
does.
It's like, bring him back.
He's
And I'm
not
like-
dead. Everything. Yes.
Honestly, there'd be
dude.
fans that liked it. So
Hey, go for it.
Can he
I
at
mean,
least
might
say
as
the
well at
F-bomb
this point.
once?
Oh my god, that would be funny. But I mean, like, it's I might as well at this point, right? Because I mean, does anything matter in Disney Star Wars anymore? Nobody's dead. I mean, like, nobody
No
cares.
one's ever really gone.
The Force. Do you have it, motherfucker?
Did you just pull that lightsaber out on me, motherfucker? So yeah, that would be good. See, they should make that A+. I wouldn't want to see a Mace Windu one that's like, without MFers all over the place. And then we got Taylor Swift is overrated and talks out of her butt for $1.99. Says Michelle's having a heated
I think he's referring to my technicals, maybe. I don't know.
maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But thanks
I
for
don't,
that.
feel I don't feel I've been that heated tonight.
Not yet, anyways. And then go ahead, Michelle. It's all you.
And thank you, Bird Up, for the $2 super chat. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Thank
I'm
you.
guessing that's to Carrie.
Thank you.
Aw. Oh, I thought for a second you was talking about the new
show.
Amazon, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
The
like,
movie.
yeah,
the
but like
show, yeah.
well, they have a new show that they like race swapped everything.
Why are they doing that? We know the answer.
We
Never
know
mind.
the answer. Yeah,
We know.
DEI. or
Yeah, nobody
whatever.
watched that thing. So
No. Hey,
Mm.
hey, Nina, I think Bird Up messed up because then he sent another one that I think has the correction. If you
Oh.
click it.
Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Ah,
Congratulations,
Mrs.
Mr. and Mrs. Swift. Okay.
There we go.
Thank you.
That makes sense. Oh, but this also makes sense because of Carrie. That's
Because we
cute.
finished our room. I was
Yeah,
like,
you finished your room.
True.
Shout out to Film Threat, by the way, for getting
Yes.
retweeted
Oh yeah.
gonna
by
say that.
Elon yesterday.
Mhm.
Yeah, Chris Gore and Alan Ing, their DEI video that they did about Amazon was shared out by Elon.
Yeah, that was cool. So if you guys are wondering, like Carrie just asked, like, why are they doing this? Go watch that video because that basically explains why they're doing this. And then Carrie, it's your turn. Go for it.
Hillis Mallory, thank you for the super chat for $5. Hillis says, best coach, the guy that tried to make Donovan McNabb into a good quarterback. Just glad he's doing better with the Chiefs than the horrible Eagles.
Well, Hillis, I didn't say he was necessarily the best, but I mean, he's been to 5 Super Bowls in his career and has won 3. So he's doing pretty well. Let's just say not many have that
3 out of
on
5
their
is pretty good.
resume.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
mean, I
good.
don't know anything about football, but 3 out of 5 is pretty freaking good as far as sports go. Like, I mean, I think about that with like, the NBA playoffs. Like, any coach that, takes your team to the finals, like 3 out of, and then wins 3 out of 5. Hey, that's pretty good.
I mean,
That's
look at
pretty
it like as a gamer, like your kill ratio. Like how many the KD ratio, that's what it is. So how many shots did you get versus how many times you died?
Yeah.
Which was better. So
Sounds
He's
pretty
doing
good.
pretty good.
he's
Yeah.
doing pretty good. The ratio is good with this one.
And And then whose turn is it now? Is it Carrie's turn again? Oh no, Stephanie's turn.
Psychotic Mongoose for 2. Hey, ladies and Tom. It's great to see everyone.
Hi,
see you.
hello. Good to see you. And then Kara.
The DCV Titan with the 2 Canadians says Disney went years pegging Star Wars and Marvel fans.
Ooh,
No
that
loot.
did happen. Yikes. Okay, let's talk about the pegging. Here we go. Well, they definitely tried to peg Gina Carano. And it didn't quite work out. So this is the article here from that Park Place. After filing lawsuit against Disney, Gina Carano promises that she has even more evidence, details how she was harassed and stalked. And I guess I should be starting this by reading out her own statement on X. So let me pull that up here, because this is how I found out about it on X, and quite similarly, this is how she found out she was fired on X. Well, that was Twitter, when it was known as Twitter. She writes, "Today is an important day for me. I'm filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. After my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter, terminating me from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there is no plan for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable." We all know this is all BS.
Yes.
And it could not be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, I just said that. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted, demonized, and dehumanized me as an alt-right wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing and destroying and making an example out of me.
Yes.
The thing is, I never used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally I used my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and an occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to Jewish people in the Holocaust? I didn't. Ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe. For making droid noises from Star Wars, beep bop boop, was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgender people. Were my questions about masks, lockdown, and forced vaccines okay to ask and push the subject into light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss those topics at that time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. Hollywood says that they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? And for those of you who don't know, I think this is referring to Pedro Pascal's post about the whole
100%.
mega conservative situation.
Yes, Pedro, and then Mark Hamill as well.
Oh yeah, that's right, Mark Hamill as well. Okay, so that's that. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. I have spoken to all my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech and do not have to think the same on every issue to be their friend and work with them. And I know they feel the same towards me. A couple months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the X platform for Twitter, for exercising your right to free speech, you would like to offer these people the legal representation. We have one of those people on the panel right now. Carolyn was offered that same deal. Quite the noble offer, but never in my wildest dream would I have thought anyone would take on my case against Lucasfilm and Disney. Still, I did respond back. I think I qualify. Thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything. To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story and many others. Turns out, after sending them much information as I could gather these past few months, my now lawyer and X believe wholeheartedly in my case and are moving forward. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk and X for giving me the opportunity to bring my case to light. As for me, I would love to pick up where I left off and continue my journey of creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion, everything I work so hard for. Now, I do have some thoughts on this because a lot of people were kind of saying that she wants to go back to Disney. I don't think that's true. It has been difficult to move forward with the lies and labels stuck on me, backed and encouraged by the most powerful entertainment company in the world. I'm grateful someone has come to my defense in such a powerful way, and look forward to clearing my name. Thank you all, the people who have supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God bless each and every one of you. With love, Gina Carano. Inquiries, contact this email. So there you go. And we also have another special guest joining us here who is very familiar with the law. Here he is, Legal Mindset. Hello.
I mean, all I was told is 4 ladies are waiting for you. So I mean, that's really what I showed up for. Five. So you know, I mean,
there's more than there's more
sorry,
than
I don't math so good. That's why I'm a lawyer. Come on. You know that. you know that.
Hi, Andrew.
Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well.
Wow, we're
Really
doing
well.
just fine. Doing better now that you're on the show. Hello,
Oh,
Andrew.
Nina, listen.
We all
mi
went
corazón.
silent because a guy's here. Like, oh,
Andrew,
Sorry,
tell
Tom.
us, do you think Gina has a case?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd been overquoted as saying it's a slam dunk, but actually all I'm saying is this case, what does a win look like in this case? And I think all of you guys, everybody who's on the stream, you know, I know like Nina, Force of Light, Carrie, Kara, Steph, you guys have all been paying attention to Disney and you all have known what's going on with Disney. And anybody who knows and has even a small amount followed Disney over the past 2 years has known that a lot of stuff is going on that shouldn't be going on. And there's definitely a lot of emails and calls and texts saying stuff that is probably pretty nasty about Gina. And we haven't uncovered any of that. So the win in this case is not necessarily to win a jury trial, but is to go through the process of discovery, which is getting subpoenas, getting those emails, getting those phone calls, getting those text messages, getting those Twitter DMs, which are not yet doxed, but they will be exposed to the world through this lawsuit, getting all of that and validating us when people thought we were deranged and going after KK and, you know, saying all this stuff like we're crazy, right? And then seeing, no, actually, we were entirely right the entire time, right? Because we already know there's the email that wasn't supposed to go to Gina that did go to Gina. That's actually not in the complaint. But all of that is going to come out through the process of discovery in this case, which all she has to do is survive a motion to dismiss. All she has to do is for the judge to say this is a valid claim. That's it.
okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nina.
Do you think it's going to be a public trial? Can we watch it?
No, you cannot watch it. It's a federal trial.
Oh, no. That sucks.
How would
And
you?
also, it's a Cali trial. So even if it was state level, they have all these laws in California regarding the images of celebrities and also the bullshit, which Frank, once again, I don't believe in this. This is why Florida has transparency, sunshine laws, which say no matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter whether you're famous or not, this is about transparency and sunshine, right? We call it sunshine laws, right? So everything is exposed, everything is public. So California doesn't like that. They like to protect their Hollywood bros. Right. So they keep their images.
I'm sorry, you said she has to survive what?
What's called a motion to dismiss. So in a case, right, you have your legal case, right? The step one is somebody sues somebody, meaning they file what's called a complaint. A complaint is actually comes back from the word literally complaining, right? Here's what I am complaining about, right? This is the wrong that you caused. Now, of course, anybody can file a complaint for any reason whatsoever. In fact, I could just say, I don't like Nina because she's a meanie, stinky, poopy face, right? And that could be what I file with the court.
I'm suing you for defaming
Right.
me, you son of a bitch.
Right. Well, that's an actual cause of action, right? But what I'm saying is you don't have to even do that. You can just turn something in and file it with the court.
And that would be a countersuit too.
That would be, yeah, you could countersue. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. My paralegal, Tom.
I'm like his helper.
Let me ask you, in comparison to the, I have just a quick question about the defamation. Do you think she has a legitimate claim in that them saying falsely that she disparaged people because of their culture and their religion, that prevented her, that she can prove that prevented her from getting future work at other places in the similar fashion, in a similar way to Johnny Depp saying, Amber Heard's defamation caused me to lose roles. Do you think are those two things similar?
It would have been, except for this is actually not a defamation claim. So this is actually, and this is where a lot of people that haven't looked at the complaint, that just read the tweet, they assume it's a defamation claim. I think Nick made this mistake the other day, which is understandable, because most people just reading it, having done Johnny Depp, would just run into defamation. But if you scroll down on this and you go to the causes of action, you can actually see the cause of action are 3. 2 of them are for essentially wrongful discharge, which is like wrongful termination. And then 1 is for sex discrimination. So this is not, and these are all under California labor law. So this is not a defamation claim. That is probably because the statute of limitations has likely run on a defamation claim, because there's a 1-year statute of limitations on intentional torts, and defamation is an intentional tort. Now, what can happen is, as part of this case, if new information is discovered that is defamatory, that could be added on because it's newly discovered, that wouldn't trigger the statute of limitations. So since she just discovered it, she could sue on that, right? But because these tweets are old, right, they're beyond the limit at which she could do that, but they're not beyond the labor law. And the thing is, the labor law, this is where Gina wins. And there was a California lawyer that I referenced the other day who said it very clearly. These California labor laws are very, very, very strict. And if you just meet the criteria, you're guilty. It's kind of like boom, boom, you've committed this, right? So if you've done X, if you've done Y, then you are guilty, right? Then you are responsible. This is of course a civil claim. Talking about the job, getting the job back, Nina, I think you mentioned that right before I got on. That's actually part of the labor law. The labor law itself says that they're entitled to a restoration of their job. So she's actually not that asking for that. It's not Gina like being sassy. It's not Gina with some like secret agenda.
Okay.
It's literally just what the law says you do.
Right. Okay. I was actually wondering about that, because I was like, she's happier without that job. So why would her?
So it's just
case be
basically
wanting
like
back?
I guess it's just the law is saying like you're entitled to your job back if they find that like basically they wrongfully dismissed you, but that would be a personal decision for her if she wants to take that job back or not at that point.
Correct. I'm going to show the tab here real quick so you guys can see it. So this is for example one of the 3 claims, right? The wrongful claim for relief under the California Labor Code. So once again, we're not dealing with my highlighting skills today are on point. I have not had my breakfast. So this right here is the labor code, one of them. And then you see here, this is the law. So they're quoting the law here. The law says right here that anybody who is wronged under this law, so any employee, right? So anyone who is discharged, threatened, demoted, suspended, retaliated against. Retaliated is a broad term. So that can include, by the way, threatened with discharge. She was threatened multiple times, not just over the Nazi thing, but over COVID, right? Over voting.
Yeah, and over the beep bop boop thing.
Beep bop boop, yes, over all of these things. And look what it says here: shall be entitled, right? So it's not a maybe, it's a shall be. This is what really screws Disney, is because this is like, if this is true, this shall be, right? Shall happen. You must be reinstated and give reimbursement. Right now,
it's interesting how the news articles are wording it, because they're saying like Gina is suing Lucasfilm and she wants her job back.
Well, I mean, she's asking for it, but it's not, the thing is, that's part of the statute, right? So it's kind of overplayed that this is what Gina actually wants, right?
Yeah, that's what
Versus-
they're saying, that like she wants her job back. It's like, I don't know if she does, but
That's why it's one of
Yeah.
those really good situations to read past the headline and
Yeah.
actually go
Right.
into the documents like
Mhm.
this and see what is
Yeah.
actually being asked for.
And,
Right, and that-
I
and
have
that's
another
where it really
question.
differs a lot. That's where it really differs a lot. And let me show you this one. This is from the first part of the labor code. This is the real one where Disney is screwed. No employer shall make, adopt, enforce, right, or have any other policy, regulation, rule, or policy controlling, directing, or tending to control, not even actually controlling, like that might seem to direct the political activities or affiliations of employees.
wow.
So by trying to coerce her into a struggle session with 45 Disney employees over pronouns, that is definitely tending to control or direct, right? They're trying to change her political belief, because the belief in pronouns is a political belief, right? As much as they want to make it sound like it's natural law or it's something that's been around forever, it's not. In fact, it's a highly offensive thing to many people who are of certain religious backgrounds, certain ethnic backgrounds.
It's
highly offensive.
it's like Maoism. Like they really wanted to just send her in there and
Mhm.
reprogram her and have her come out saying what they wanted her to say.
Yeah, the
Can I
wrong
just
thing,
say-
like re-education camp.
Yes.
That's exactly
I'm
what
going
it
to
is.
be following this very closely because I would like to see what could be possible for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's a lot of folks here that, and what I said, this is the tip of the iceberg, because Disney had that inclusion matrix, which we saw with ABC, and now we're seeing Amazon has adopted, and I've got to cover that one. There's so much to cover.
Roseanne
Like,
Barr wants to sue now too,
wants
because
to
they
sue
got
now
let go
too,
from
yeah.
ABC.
Yeah.
And
She's like,
They-
hello.
They all
So,
should
yeah,
come in
hello.
as long as they can, as long as it's under the statute of limitations, they should come in and sue. And I think this labor law really provides a window, and the opportunity here is this is in federal court, so they don't have to deal with a California judge, because I know a lot of Californians that said, look, we understand this law exists and we understand the law is written neutrally, but the reality in California is this has been enforced against conservatives and never against liberals.
Yes.
So they never will ever enforce this against a liberal in the state court, but this is in federal court.
Well, and
So-
that's I guess that's
Oh,
what my
that's
question
interesting.
was too, Andrew, because like in terms of like where, like, because this is like a California thing that, you know, started in California with Disney and everything. I've heard that there's a law where any company in California has a right to basically fire whoever they want at any point in time if they see that they're kind of like misusing, like they like basically if they deem them to be wrong thing, they have the right to fire them. Like,
That- I
See,
mean-
in
that's what
layman's terms.
people are saying to me though, because I'm in I think it's called like an at-will state or something for North
Something like
Carolina.
that.
Most states are, so the default is at will, right? And at will is literally the default. So you can fire anybody for any reason whatsoever. However, that is the default in all states, right? However, some states have adopted a higher standard, and some states have also adopted higher standards of what's impermissible. Now, in no state can you fire someone and say, hey, Kara's a woman, she's get fired because she's a woman, right? That's illegal in all states, because you can't fire somebody for a protected characteristic, right?
Sure.
So you can't say she's a woman, she's, old, right?
Yeah,
like none of those things.
ageism,
Ageism is a
sexism, yeah.
thing, right?
Mhm.
She, she's redheaded, so maybe she's questionably Irish. I don't like the Irish.
Maybe she
they're
doesn't have a
untrustworthy,
soul.
right?
Yeah,
she doesn't
like,
have a soul, right? Let's fire her for that.
mhm.
I can't do that. Like, that's
Too
not
many
permissible.
Pikachus. Get her out of here.
I did not say any of these things.
Yeah, one too
Shame
many
my
of them yellow
Pikachus.
critters. Just let
Bring them
folks
into
back
this.
up.
You leave my Pikachu alone.
Yeah.
She's trying to
Um,
turn everyone Pika Pika.
No, but so Andrew, you might. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
obviously, this is.
I had a point with that. I forgot it though.
I would just.
You were
I
talking
might
about
be
at
interested
will.
in chatting with you about
go
that
ahead.
at some point.
Yes.
Just to pick your brain because
Holler
I
at
mean,
me, girl.
oh,
Ooh.
oh.
Now, Andrew, did you answer the question? I'm sorry, I did I miss it? Like, what does she have to?
Oh, sorry. So,
Yeah.
the answer to the question is, look, there's at will, right? But there's also the law can set a higher bar, which raises the floor. So now the floor is raised. So California decided to not just raise it to protected characteristics, but raise it above that by adding in political activity. So they raise the floor. And no law, once you establish a law, you can't go below that floor. So even though there's another law that says you can be fired for quote unquote anything, that can't go below the labor law that says this, right? So this labor law sets this floor that you can't go below, right? You can fire him for any other reason. So I could fire Kara because, I just don't like her quality of work. But the problem is that nowadays everyone will say, well, you're saying you're firing me for work, but you're really firing me because I'm a woman, right?
Yes.
Right. That's the debate, is that anybody who's got one of these tags on them is just going to claim that. And because of the length of these processes, because it gets dragged out, because there's a huge incentive to show discrimination so these people can self-prove their jobs, right? Karen in HR does not keep her job unless she shows that there's discrimination. So there's an incentive to show more discrimination. There's an incentive with these organizations, which are set up solely, their only job is to do civil rights claims. Their whole existence doesn't matter if there are no discriminatory acts. So we're on a slippery slope where it's like, well, there's a 1% difference in pay between men and women is considered discrimination. Like the standard for what is discriminatory has fallen so far that I think we need a complete realignment on it. And I think we do need a complete reassessment of it. But that said, California's woke laws are screwing them, because actually this law was adopted to protect gay activists, right? Back in the day. This is one about political activity. It was all about that. And they never thought that it would be used by
They never think through. That's the thing with authoritarianism, is it's whatever side is in power at the moment. They're short-sighted, and they can't see how, hey, if we're not in power and the people we hate are in power, could this be used against us? Yes. That's why it's not a good idea. I mean, in this case, I hope she wins. I hope she takes them to the cleaners, use the law, because, I want to see if she can do it and it's within the law. Like I would love to see her make an example of them the way they tried to make an example of her.
Yes.
So that what do you have to get past? What is her first
So that's that other, that was a question I didn't fully answer. So there's the complaint, which anybody can file. And then there's what's called a motion to dismiss. So there's really two things you have to have there. Number one, you have to have what's called standing. Standing really literally means the ability to stand in court. So are the parties correct? Are the claims redressable? Which means if Gina recovers, is she made whole? Is her problem fixed? Right? That's a big part of that. And then once that's number one. Number two is, does her claim have at least the basic merits? Based on the basic allegations and the facts, does her claim have merits? And not only does it have merits, right? But this thing has enough merits that they could pretty much prove the case just with what's in the complaint, right? Just that alone is enough proof to say, yep, we've got summary judgment on this. So because of that, it's going to survive this first hurdle called motion to dismiss. After a motion to dismiss is when all this probing into Disney happens. That's when Elon Musk and Gina Carano get all those emails, all the DMs. And that's what I've been saying. A win is not the jury verdict. I know it's very confusing. I know we love trials, especially us law tube lawyers and everything. We love trials and decisions because they're sexy, because you've got people in court, you got the cameras on, you get Amber, you got people. But in reality, in big boy world and big girl world, most cases are settled outside of trial. Most cases do not go to trial. This is not common, especially in a civil context, especially in a business context. It just doesn't make business sense.
Do you think Disney is going to settle?
Yeah, that's my next question. Do you think they're going to settle?
Will attempt to. I think they will attempt to. I don't think Elon and Gina have an incentive to settle until they get some receipts. Right. Okay. I think they want receipts.
That's all
I think
want.
that Bob fucked around, and now he's about to find out.
About to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, because he fucked around like he did with the advertising stuff. Because remember what they did on that. Yeah, I don't know if people forgot that. But when they pulled their ads from X, it was because Elon was supposed to be an anti-Semite.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
And now who looks like an anti-Semite? Mark Hamill, Pedro Pascal, employees of the Disney Corporation. And then James Gunn, Jesus, he's even worse. I don't even want to go into that. I don't know. There's some statements I can clip them and show them to you. Well,
oh boy.
It's like not even like it's on the edge of like what you're able to show.
But James
on YouTube.
Gunn's not really working
disturbing.
for Disney anymore, so that doesn't really count, does
He
it?
was at the time.
At the time, yeah.
That's
yeah.
at the
No, but-
time there was a disparate treatment.
And there's also a precedent to be set there too with the whole thing
Yeah.
with, like you guys said, even down to Carl Weathers had said very similar things to what Gina did and didn't get any guff. But Roseanne and Gina Carano were the only two fired that were not hired back. James Gunn, on the other hand, was hired back.
Weird.
Yeah, but they're both
women,
women.
yeah.
So unfortunately, that's going to show.
Well, it's interesting. They're women that can't be controlled. That's
Yeah.
why they're not going to fire them. That's
Very
why
You know,
they-
and you would
vocal.
think they would like strong independent women.
you
but
would
of
think,
course,
right?
the
like, oh,
definition
we can't
the
control
definition
these.
of strong independent woman is strong independent woman that listens to their party line, which is
That's but that's
not
too
a strong
toxic.
independent woman.
That's too toxic, Andrew. Strong independent women that don't have wrong think. That's really toxic. So people were asking asking in the chat who her lawyers are. Is this the lawyers? Like, is this the ones?
yes,
that
the
are
lawyers
listed
are at the top. They're yes, they're I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Schaefer Jaff LLP, right?
Yeah.
So that's the law firm. So
Yeah, Schaefer.
they're qualified. They're good.
Donald
I mean, I
M.
don't personally know them, but they seem to have the CV to be able to handle it. So, and
There you go, guys. If you guys wanted to know who is representing them as these guys right here, Schaefer LLP and Donald M. Falk and Gene C. Shar. So
wanna
a
talk to those
bunch of
guys.
people. So there you go.
Well, what's funny is it's Bob Chapek that might even be the one to screw Disney in the very end. I know, Andrew, you and I were kind of discussing
can
this.
we
a
talk
little
about this?
Please
so,
do.
So part of I'm like that yellow jacket guy with all of this. So like, here's the thing. We've had this narrative and this convenient excuse, and it's for a lot of things. I know that you guys have all been covering them. For the last year, 2 years, Iger has been able to defer every problem in Disney to Bob Chapek.
Yes.
Right? He has said
Mhm.
Bob Chapek is the one that did all these horrible things. Well, we got the one article. There was the one article in mainstream media, right, that came out and said there's disagreement between Bob and Iger, right? They weren't getting along. But what we kind of know is that Bob was still there in his office taking 2 showers a day. That's a fact, right? He never left his office.
Yeah, never.
And we know he was.
Were they showering together?
Hey,
I
it's
doubt
Hollywood,
it. I
baby.
doubt- And maybe they were at first. Maybe that's why he's salty, because Bob Chapek stopped showering with him.
Oh my.
He's like, I want to take my own showers, Iger.
Damn it, I've had
Poor.
enough of washing your back.
Yeah. So
It's your
Uh,
turn.
So it's all gone on Chapek. And look, I'm not Chapek was no saint. Chapek was not perfect. But this blaming everything on Chapek and pretending he was not there, when a lot of the calls, particularly as it comes to Reedy Creek, when the thing that I've covered, which segues with this, is we know that Iger was the one that was shit stirring a lot of this. And he was pushing a lot of the ideological stuff because that's
Yeah.
Iger's ideology. And he wants to project that on the entire corporation. So when he
Mhm.
perceived Chapek as stepping away from that, he's like, get out there and undermine that motherfucker. And that's what they did with Reedy Creek. And you can see he probably was poking people on this one as well. So what I will look forward to is Iger has an excuse that this was Chapek. But if we get to discovery, which is just past that motion to dismiss, right? If we get just over this first hurdle, then we get potential proof that Iger was really controlling the Disney Corporation and Lucasfilm the entire time.
And how likely is that we get over that first hurdle?
Oh, it's I mean, we're getting there, baby.
Guaranteed.
I mean, there's no, unless they settle, unless they accept a settlement, there's no way they don't get there. Right. I mean, that's where my prediction is 100%. We will get to that phase unless they settle. And
Wow.
and of course, by the way, someone tried to say that, oh, well, Elon's paying for this suit, so he controls it. No.
No.
We have an ethical duty to our client and our client alone. It's actually very clear in the ethical rules. So, for example, if someone's mother was paying for their criminal defense because they like broke in a car and carjacked it or whatever, the mom doesn't get to say when the lawyer gets fired or hired, right? The client does. Now,
Right.
if the lawyer runs out of money, he can say, look, I'm not working for free, right?
Right.
But the relationship is between attorney and client, not attorney and benefactor. And that's a
Sure.
sacrosanct thing for us. So if Gina says she wants to stop, they'll stop. If Gina says that, and Gina
Well-
is a different person than Elon Musk, and she
Mhm.
frankly is probably a little bit less personally engaged with Iger right now. We'll just put it that way.
And that was one of the things I was referring to.
Yeah.
But the one other thing I was referring to where Chapek could screw them is actually in the claim itself. Because as we know, Disney's big defense is going to be, well, she didn't have a contract. She technically was an employee. She wasn't really fired from anything, right? Like that's the way that they're going to try and present this.
She lost an opportunity for future.
There's all
profit,
that
and she
stuff.
was
Let's just
promised. She was also promised, and in California, an oral
Yes.
agreement can be enforceable. That's a big difference with California.
right.
Yeah.
But let's put all that aside for just a minute, Andrew, because in the complaint itself, the problem you have with them trying to claim any of that, which throws us all off the table, is you have Bob Chapek himself responding to a question about firing Gina Carano in one of the earnings calls, and it's quoted in the claim. So it doesn't matter what they try to say as far as, well, she didn't have this, she didn't have that. No, he publicly said that they fired her, basically, in so many words.
Do you guys understand why we cover these earnings calls now?
Yeah.
This is why we cover them, because they say these things and you're like, wow, did you just say that? I mean, even I caught one the other day with Mexican Iron Man. We were re-reviewing it, right? And we caught one where Bob was saying, oh yeah, we're gonna like make exactly the same amount of money when we cut the cord, when we take, get away with the linear service as going to streaming. And I'm like, well, that's a lie. That's a huge lie. Right? It's not going to be exactly the same. You're definitely going to lose some money there. It's not going to be one-to-one. Why would you say that? In these statements, Bob Iger has the problem that he overpromises and underdelivers. And there's an issue there legally, especially when it comes to the earnings calls, because those are statements that you're putting out to shareholders, to people that are interested, right? And if you're making a material misrepresentation or a straight up lie, that can get you in trouble legally, including with the Gina case, right? When you're putting out information, that you can be held to account for that information you put out in that earnings call.
So, well, and I want to say, because Nina brought that up. So, Andrew,
What's up, Mike? I see Mike in the chat.
So, Andrew, do you think the fact that the president of Lucasfilm, being Kathleen Kennedy, that she had a illustration behind her one day of this artwork, Rangers of the New Republic, which it was known the star of that show was going to be one Gina Carano's Cara Dune's character. And then as soon as they fired Gina, as they did, this show immediately was canceled because the star was gone. So
that's
like
clear.
a verbal agreement.
There's a clear case there, right? And that goes to damages, right? It goes to damages. That's a future damage, right? So she would have gained that revenue. What was I eating? I was eating eggs. I just finished them.
I'm sure it's Japanese something or
And
other.
then no, it's not Japanese at all. And this is oatmeal. I'm just gonna get some oatmeal in here.
Oh, wow.
My gains. No, I'm trying to be healthy, man. So I I gotta unmindset the hut myself. But anyways, the damages are pretty intense, because not only was it that series, but they actually say in the complaint that she was promised a role in the Charmine Chinoy film in the future, right? So and there's an agreement there. So once again, all those things can be brought in as damages. So they've only got to prove in terms of the culpability. She said this. She said the political statement. There was some clapback for it. Some, right? They're responsible. All those damages flow in.
Well,
that's the beauty of this.
And I think that the other part that I guess I'm wondering about is the argument that Disney's been having this entire time. Excuse me, the Disney and the mainstream media has been having the entire time with us. Well, people like us that have been covering this situation. When we talk about that she was fired, and she still to this day calls herself and says that she was fired basically on X. That's how she found out. But everybody else,
that's what she alleges, by the way. She alleges that as well. Like she says that. So
she says that. She says that she was fired on X. That's how she found out. But then from the Disney side, their argument is that her contract was never renewed, and that she wasn't ever officially fired because they didn't have there wasn't a contract in place at the time. They just never renewed it. So how would that go to work with their argument of if she wasn't employed, technically she was never fired because at the time she wasn't technically employed?
No, that's not going to fly, because obviously she had an ongoing engagement. She had an ongoing expected engagement. The role was expected to continue as Cara Dune. Obviously,
Mhm.
she had no expectation interest that would go on. She had oral agreements, which are enforceable as to that, right? Also, the standard for employee is broader under California law. There's a test, the ABC test. So there's.
But do you think that's the argument that Disney's going to go with? I mean, there has to be an argument that Disney's going to have to come
no,
up
no,
with.
no, no. Yeah.
Isn't the fact that they made a
so-
statement about Gina and like said that she's been isn't that?
So if you want me to like straw man or steel man Disney, like make a devil's advocate,
Please
argument,
Well,
it.
kind of where I was coming from, pretty
yeah,
much.
They would claim that. Of course, they're going to claim that. Of course, they're going to claim she wasn't an employee at the time. Well, she wasn't an employee, so we can't terminate her if she's not. Of course, they're going to argue that. That's probably their best argument, but it's still not going to fly, right? Is what I'm saying. That argument's not going to stick. So, I think that they're going to have real trouble with somebody that was in an ongoing series that you knew what was happening. You had this, like you said, Rangers of the New Republic. You had future seasons of The Mandalorian. You had the movie, right? This was an ongoing relationship, which was expected to be ongoing. It was orally communicated to her that it was ongoing, right? And I'm sure that if we actually look at her contract, which we don't have an evidence yet, we eventually will. If we look at her contract, there probably are terms that bind her even beyond her contract term. So in terms of like exercising control, the way it looks at it, the test is even if your contract may be up, if there's some term that exercises control over you in between, let's say you've got gaps in your contract, but there's still, hey, you can't compete. You can't go out and work for anybody else. You've got to commit to doing this for future seasons. You've got to give us an option to buy in at a future season. For example, if her contract has an option, like a renewal option in the original contract, there you go. There's a lot of things that can keep this thing attached on as an employee.
Do you think that like people like Jon Favreau can be subpoenaed into basically kind of testifying for Gina, saying that yes, there was a verbal thing in order for her to carry on in her role of Cara Dune, blah blah blah?
Well, two things are they can subpoena everybody, right? Can they subpoena people? Yeah, they can subpoena everybody, right? Are they going to say that? Well, I mean, I can't promise you what Jon Favreau is going to say, but it would be in Jon Favreau's best interest not to lie, because there's going to be pretty clear evidence of this. Like, I mean, obviously Cara's agent is going to have the other half of that contract, right? So if you're trying to say like this was never sent, this promise was never made, and then Gina's side produces it, well, then you're committing perjury. So I don't think Favreau's going to get up there and like perjure.
That's not a good idea. Yeah,
lie on the stand for what? For Disney? Like, come on, like he's
especially
no
now that now that he's like kind of had a falling out with them too. I don't think he liked how things went down, especially with Gina and everything. Because I mean, he was friends with her. I mean, a lot of these people were friends with her, and then all of a sudden it's like. Well, I mean, I don't know how much.
Well, I mean, Nina, beyond
Chapek has no love. I don't think he has any love for Disney and Iger.
Disney he's no love for Disney at this point.
Well, I mean, besides the fact that he liked Gina, I mean, they ruined his little universe he built. Literally, crumbled the day that she was fired, which I don't think he really had any say in. I mean, literally, he had to totally rewrite Mando season 3. He had to do away with Rangers of the New Republic. Like his whole plan just got crapped apart in one day.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you, Andrew, for this legal, walkthrough of what's going on with Gina Carano. I'm sure we're going to have you back several times as this is going along, and just kind of like update our audience to what's going on. But this is going to be a case every one of us is going to be just kind of glued to and figuring out what's going on.
And I knew. You know what the funny thing is? These things always break when I'm sleeping, so I go to bed and I'm like, oh man, I think I'm all caught up on Disney. And then this thing drops and I'm like, why?
Brother, I was on vacation. And I had like no access to anything. I was in court and I was like, wait, what? What's happening?
And Valiant Renegade's giving me booty calls at like 5 a.m. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
Valiant called me. Valiant called me. He's like, you want to come on the show tonight? I was like, I literally just walked in the door from being on vacation. Well, on a work trip. No, I'm not coming on the show tonight.
Wow.
Right.
Does anybody else have any questions for Andrew? While
I do.
Go ahead, Kara.
Do you see any possible laws being produced as an outcome of this?
That's a good question.
I think more states states are going to move? That's a very good question. And if you see Florida, right? Florida actually adopted a law. And this is, I don't know whether it's been signed by the governor yet, but I know the Senate's passed it. So it's in some form of the process where now it's going to be challenged. The leftists are going to challenge it. Okay. So just understand that. Anytime a conservative state passes a law, it's going to get challenged. And oftentimes the leftist laws get challenged as well, but not always. But with Florida, they pass a law that makes it defamation to call somebody racist, sexist, transphobic, any of those ifs or phobe words, right? A bigot, without proof that they are actually that, right? So to falsely claim somebody as that. So without zero proof, they're making that included within the definition of defamation as well as false light, which is painting somebody in a false light. And I think that's a great step. I know people will think it's challenge. Oh, that's unconstitutional. No, defamation has never been covered by the First Amendment. You never have had the right to defame people ever, period. So this is just expanding the definition of defamation. The woke people don't like it, right? I think it's good. I think it's solid. I think people should need proof before you go and call people racist. That's why the Southern Poverty Law Center and all those other places are able to just get away with calling people racist and phobes and this and that. I think there needs to be a standard because we've gone too far with letting people essentially slander others, but get away with it because you can call somebody a racist, sexist, and that will destroy their career, right? That will destroy their career, but there's no legal punishment for that. That's messed up. That's messed up. You should not be able to, especially a large organization, should not be able to call somebody that and get away with it. It's not right.
I would like that.
Because then the media just repeats those claims by places like Southern Poverty Law Center, and it's sort of written into the record of history that you are that thing without any evidence.
And they treat it like Southern Poverty Law Center is the FBI. They treat them like that's an official government resource.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And it's quoted in lawsuits like, oh, well, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, you're a racist. It's like, well, yeah, everything is racist according to them.
Yeah,
right?
Waking up early is racist.
Right.
Time is racist.
Math is racist.
Math is racist.
Everything is racist.
Going to the gym.
Yes.
Yeah, going to the gym. That's
how many times was I racist today just off of that
racist.
sentence?
Gosh,
I'm so racist today
a lot
just
of
based
racism
off of
going
that.
on. I mean,
But-
this whole chat's probably very racist.
But so
Very,
something
very.
like that I think would be interesting because I would like to see where we can basically learn from this and take back the power from
There it is.
from the loud minority to obviously like make these claims and nothing can be done.
Mhm.
Right.
Absolutely nothing can be done.
It's not right.
Such
It's
as
not
with
morally
my
right.
case, which I hate that I'm bringing this up. With my case, this person was just like, this person is a transphobe. You should not have her on your team.
Right.
Mhm.
Which they had one tweet, which was very softball tweet, if I'm going to say that, from 2017, and everything else that they had that they had seen was just because of people I've followed, which I had followed people from every side.
Well, in your case, is probably the most closest to Gina's, right? Oh my
Yes.
goodness!
Raider,
Wow.
Raider. By the
Raider,
way,
that
I love
Pikachu
it.
is so cute. Aw,
Thank you, Raider.
Thank you so much, Raider. And and I definitely want to thank Andrew once again for taking the time out of his day to come in here and help us out with this discussion. We
Yes.
appreciate it, my friend.
Definitely.
Always happy to help. And I saw that, Nina, you perhaps wanted me to ask about one other thing.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about because we kind of mentioned this earlier because it kind of dropped earlier, but there's also a new lawsuit now against Amazon because
Yes.
they're charging people more money than they said they were going to or whatever. So can you comment on that?
That is absolutely a issue because when you enter into an agreement and you've been advertising, right? Or so as a company, and actually I worked with this because I represented hotels and timeshare. And as you know, timeshare is some of the most litigated areas because they use some really shady tactics sometimes.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of, every state has Deceptive Practices Act. So when you lure somebody in, if I say, Steph, I'm going to give you, if you come to my ice cream shop, you get free sprinkles the entire year. And then This starts in January, and then in March, I'm like, you know what? It's 50 cents for the sprinkles. Right? That's not what you're like. I deceived her, right? I got her to come into the shop, maybe pay for a membership, right?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden I've taken away her benefit, right? I'm saying, okay, you buy the membership, you get the free sprinkles, and then I'm going to charge 50 cents for it. No, this is pretty clearly a deceptive practice. This is going to be one where the Amazon's going to settle. They got the money to settle this. This is a screw up on them on implementation. This is something they're going to deal with like any car company deals with a recall, right? This is like, shit, we screwed up, we changed this, but we're Amazon, we have a ton of money to burn. We should throw money at this, settle this. This is going to be a settlement.
This is a settlement one.
They're dead to rights on this one.
Because
They
But like
advertise
it-
it as-
but
as
in the settlement-
streaming is free.
But in the settlement, do I still have to watch the commercials after the settlement?
That's a good question.
You do, right?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
The solution is to give you money, right? It's like, oh, well, here's your money back, right? That's what the solution is going to be.
Okay.
I mean, I was saying this earlier, Andrew, that like, I mean, Netflix did the same thing but they announced that they were going to do it. And then they also announced that they're going to have tiers. So like for their base one that you will be seeing commercials, but for their like more expensive accounts, you won't. I still haven't seen it implemented, but I never saw this from Amazon. Like Amazon's always been kind of like advertising that they're like commercial free or whatever. So I was really shocked when Michelle was saying that there's actually been commercials like beginning, middle, and end. Because I was like, that's kind of like how Hulu was for a while. Like they were just like, oh, there's always commercials there, even though technically it's like a streaming service. You don't want to be paying for commercials. Like that's what the whole streaming shindig was about, was avoiding the commercials and like, the interruptions in the middle of your show. And now it's like, oh, we're just going to get that anyway. Like might as well be paying for cable at this point. Like, why are we getting this freaking interruption in the middle of what we're paying for, this like, monthly service?
Right, and that's one of the premiums where people were thinking, okay, when you're paying for Amazon Prime, right, you're like, okay, I get shipping and I get streaming, right? But if you're like, wait, I get streaming with commercials, I get like TV, forget that, right? I don't want that. I don't want to pay for TV, right? It's the same thing. So many people would just write that off and would not make that purchase decision. They would not pay for Prime at all.
Exactly. And Nick the Geek is right here. Hulu used to be free, but with ads. Like that was the thing. Like we're free, we'll give you this content, but you have to play the ads. But then they started charging as well and playing the ads still. And I was like, wait, what? Like why are they doing
I think
this?
Amazon
you can do that. You can like that is allowed, right? As long as you disclose it. The whole point is when you purchase it, do you know what you're buying, right? It's not whether or not they're playing ads. Like ads are not illegal, right? Like ads are
it's the
illegal,
false
right?
advertising that comes into play.
That's the
it's
point.
that
where you
I
deceive
purchased
them.
Amazon Prime thinking I was not going to have those stupid commercials.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I was actually away when you guys were talking about this earlier, and I was kind of thinking that the smartest thing in the world was whoever's the lawyer was that put this together was they chose to word it that way. Because pretty much any other way that you do this, I think it's even going to be a hard stretch to win this against Amazon anyway, but that's like your only grounds because it's written in their contract that they can change stuff at any time. And there's nothing you can do about it.
That's true.
Because people have already tried suing Amazon for losing their movies and stuff like that. And that's why every time, one of these things closed down and people are like, well, do we have a grounds to go out of civil court? No, you don't, because you signed a contract that said, guess what? You don't actually own this stuff. And we can change this at any time without actually telling you. But the difference here is, like you were saying, Andrew, I think the public side of this, the PR nightmare that it's going to be, it might be worth it more just to say, F it, settle, pay out like a coupon, a bunch of coupons.
This is the key. This is the quintessential, right? Like this was a bad business decision. Whoever rolled this out did it wrong. There's a way to roll this out. There's a way to not roll this out, which is give a period of time where you say, okay, we're going to ads next year. If you subscribe, right? If you resubscribe, right? You re-sign up, give a big disclaimer, everything else. You got to choose, make everybody choose. But what they wanted to do is just let it roll over, stay quiet. Because a lot of people with Amazon Prime, it's something that is actually kind of expensive. Right. They're paying for, and they don't even pay attention to.
How much is Amazon Prime?
I don't pay attention to it, but I pay
like
for
$100 and some bucks a year.
It's $100 bucks a year. That's not, to me, that's, come on. Like these things, you have a bunch of expenses that add up, right? A lot of people wonder where all their money goes. It's like, it's a lot of those things, right? which is nickel and dime you until you've spent all these things. Oh, I can afford $100 subscription, right? And another $100 and another $100. And then all of a sudden you've got $1,000 a month in subscriptions, right? So I think this is one of those things where people really are going to be brought their attention to Amazon Prime and whether or not they continue it. And frankly, that may be a trend that wakes Amazon Prime up, because with this DEI stuff they're pushing, right, which is something that's also dropped. I know Film Threat dropped that very recently. And I know some other people have covered it. I'm going to cover it. The DEI criteria.
Funny, because we did a video on that exact same thing 2 years ago. That exact report.
Wow.
I mean, it's been around, but I think it's like people are waking up to it now, maybe because of Gina Carano, because of the lawsuits, the eyeballs
Elon
on
Musk.
it, Elon, right?
Yeah.
People are waking up to this, and it's time. It's overdue for this, because this sort of treatment is not right. It's wrong.
It's because
it's
you're right.
to affect more broad range of what people are enjoying.
Not just white men.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Exactly.
also because it's in other areas. Like you said, the time is right. I mean, the so many people are talking about it in the FAA as it relates to air travel.
Air travel.
Oh God.
And so because it's in the public consciousness now, which is great, that's the time to strike and to talk about everywhere that it's infected, you know, and universities,
and it's everything. Everything is infected. Literally, I mean, Elon kind of, started calling it the woke mind virus, and it really has been like this virus that's just infiltrated literally every aspect of our society, whether it's entertainment, whether it's, the law, whether it's, anything, pilots, whatever, schools. Anything that you can possibly think of, this DEI stuff is infiltrated, and it's just people are being hired not for their merit but for the color of their skin. Really, that's what's happening. It's kind of ridiculous.
And I think that it was allowed to survive this long because people viewed it as harmless, because they viewed it as, we just want to get along.
Yeah.
It's not this. Now it's clear
It's
what it is.
progress.
Right. And they were able to say, you just are misogynist. That's it. You're just a misogynist, right?
Yeah.
Now they're not able to say that because there's a coalition of all sorts of people from all sorts of backgrounds that are pointing at this, saying like, this is weird. We don't want to have any part of this.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just, like the random one, like constitutional law nerd who's like, this is not going to work out really well, guys. It's everybody who's seeing this, and we're seeing it in real life. And frankly, with the airline stuff, I don't want to see fatalities over this, but I mean, you're messing with things you should not mess with, because like when you get to people's lives, it's just not something you play with. Like especially whenever we talk about stuff like standards for firefighters, police officers, military, pilots, like these are things that should not be touched.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I want my firefighter to be able to pick me up and drag me out and not have to call for help, right? Like that's not okay. We're both going to be dead.
Yeah,
because
I want him to save me, not be able to not say like, let me go get someone else for this.
Yeah,
I'm a break a nail. Like I'm actually having my male period right now, so let me go call the next.
This is really triggering for me right now. Just a second.
This
my
is
mental health. I'm taking my mental health moment.
I mean, I can't believe that that's actually a conversation that we have to even have, that like one of the airlines said that like we're open to like hiring mentally ill people, and I was like, what is this world that's coming to?
That was
schizophrenics can get a job
as pilots, and they specifically mentioned it as pilots, like, we're looking to get mentally ill people in the cockpit.
And blind and deaf, and the thing is, I'm
in
sure
the
there are
cockpit?
many. They said this is who they didn't specifically say in the cockpit.
No, I know,
they
but
said at the airline. Yes.
Still.
And that's not the standard by which you should be hiring people. And I think it took it getting to this place where lives are on the line at the airlines. If you think about doctors and medical school, things like that, I think that's it. It took it getting to there for then everyone to be willing to start to address it in all these other places too. Like there's just sort of this attitude that like, well, if DEI is ruining entertainment, but it's just entertainment,
right?
Right.
And
they
that is
don't
until
yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, they don't look at actual human beings who are affected by it, who get passed over in hiring in the writer's room, who don't get promoted, because I've heard writer's assistants say this. They don't get promoted, and they're told flat out, it's because you're a white man and we need to hire an outside writer to fill this position instead of promoting you, because the demographic of the writer's room wouldn't look right now.
I mean,
they don't look at that as tragic, but if their life's on the line,
I've gotten this from so many, like I know actor friends of mine, white male actor friends of mine, who say the same thing. Like, I mean, like there's no jobs for them out there at all. Like, it's just basically like if you're a white male, you can't get a job acting right now unless it's like a specific part for something. Pretty much, yeah.
You gotta go work for an alternative. You gotta go work outside. By the way, this super chat, let me answer this because this is one actually a framing that I used last night, which is, are you saying that a Pyrrhic victory for Disney would be a victory for Gina? How much damage needs to be done for a Gina win? Disney shills might try to spin it as a victory for Disney. No, by the way, Disney stills will always, this is what I've learned from covering for Disney for a year, because I've been on the Disney issues, as you know, more than anybody else. I actually try to do other stuff, but then Disney constantly has news. So I literally cannot stop. I actually want to add other topics and I want to cover other things too, but I don't have time. I literally don't have time. So with that, everything they do, they will try to warp it and spin it and lie and put out counter PR. It's mind blowing how much Disney, specifically Disney, controls the media and controls the narrative. They have a massive influence on the public psyche. But that said, we need to think in two different ways: a strategic victory and a tactical victory, right? So a tactical victory is something like winning a particular motion or winning a jury trial, right? That might be a tactical victory, but the strategy is to expose Disney. The strategy is to get this information out there. And Gina said it on her interview with Glenn Beck, that her interest is getting the truth out there.
Yeah.
Right? Is for people to see this, right? That's her real interest. So it is a win for Gina if she's able to accomplish that. Just in the same way, not the case facts are completely different, right? Different case. But with Johnny Depp, he wanted to get his truth out there about his side of the story because he had been lied about. In this case, about the truth, that is Gina's objective, is the truth. So in that case, for Gina, because this is Gina, she's the client, I think she will be happy if her side comes out, even if the jury finds against her. Right? Because obviously it's always possible. It's always possible for a jury to find against you. However, with the documents out there, that will be such a blow. And mind you, this case may take 2 years. Case with there's other similar cases I compared to which have taken 2 years. Bob Iger may not last 2 years, right? The Disney Corporation on this trajectory may not last 2 years, right? I'm being serious. I mean, dead serious. In terms of where they're at, right? They're not going to go away.
Kathleen Kennedy will always be around. I don't know what you're talking about.
She does never go away.
She's never going
No, but this lawsuit actually does open the possible doors to giving her an exit that she's not going to be able to do shit about.
Yeah.
Because if it comes to a point where, because she is going to be at the center of this whole thing. We've kind of thrown this out there as devil's advocate. Andrew and I have a couple times. I'm like, let's just say for the sake of argument, they decide to settle and Gina will settle, but it's only for exactly what she's asking for. Well, the only way they facilitate that is if basically Kathleen Kennedy is out the door instead.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to happen.
No, but I'm just saying as a good possible scenario, that's like,
it would be an interesting
it's the closest we've ever gotten.
It's a theory that you cannot dismiss. I cannot dismiss that as a theory, but it may or may not happen.
Yes, and I think that is the only way that she may possibly be interested in getting her role back or like start working with them again is if Kathleen Kennedy is gone. Like she'll be like, I'm not working with that bitch again. Like there's no way. So
well, and she says in the
part of it.
She says in the filing that, you know, Favreau talked to her about this Mando movie that's coming up. So she was meant to be in this.
Yes.
And you brought up, Andrew, that they could injunction you said, put on the movie to where they couldn't even film it, but
so you can place what's called an injunction, right? Temporary injunction, because one of the remedies, right? The remedy is to put her back in the movie, right?
Yeah. Right.
And into the films. So what is the only thing that would be proper? While this case is being decided, to pause the movie. So Charmin Chenoy's movie gets paused.
I mean,
well, I was talking more about
love when Steph says her name.
Movie, but yeah.
Hang on, everybody pause.
I feel uncomfortable.
Wait, everybody pause. I want Stephanie to say that woman's name like 5 times really fast.
Please.
I don't know if I can do it 5 times.
Do it. Come on. You could do it.
Charmin obeyed Shanoy.
Yeah.
So quickly.
Mikey brings up here in the chat. By the way, thank you, ActionCom, for the $10 super chat. Says, I have had a business clients in the state of California for 3 decades, and FYI, the state of California labor code is brutally pro-employee and anti-business.
Yep.
Yes, and because of that, like because they are brutally pro-employee and anti-business, in this case, it's brutally pro-Carano, which is the irony of this, right? Their pro-employee does come back to sting them sometimes.
And then we've got Two's Nose, who says, does that discovery information get to be public automatically, or can it be suppressed, covered by gag orders?
So that's a good question. So here's what did spicy meat the ball.
Wow, mute yourself.
Yeah. So they would obviously say, Disney will obviously say, because this is what Disney always does, that everything is a trade secret.
Tom, you need to mute.
Is he what? Are you
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I thought it was a
You
joke.
could have muted me, Nina.
Oh my
Use the power.
I forgot that I had the power to do it.
Do it. With great power comes great responsibility. Come on, man. You know this.
I totally
Don't be
forgot.
Miles Morales. Be Spider-Man. All right. So they could absolutely say it's a trade secret, it's protected, right? And they're going to claim that. But we know this stuff isn't a trade secret. Kathleen Kennedy setting the kill order on Gina Carano, and I mean that in the sense of like get rid of her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like saying the Order 66. Metaphorically, on Gina Carano, like that's not protected. There's no trade secret there, right? It's not giving away the Disney magic, right? It's not giving away the Lucasfilm secrets. So this is something that I think there's going to be a repercussion. There's got to be a repercussion for that when that stuff comes out, for sure. Because some of it will come out. They will delay it, but it will come out.
All right.
Oh my God.
And then we've got ActionCom again, who says, what happens after? Do you think anyone's going to want to work with Gina after this? Or will people fear that she might see them?
I'm going to be honest, not in Hollywood. I think she's probably going to have to get work outside of Hollywood, because that's how the Hollywood people work. And we've seen that. And that's the punishment.
Yeah.
That's why people are scared to speak up against Disney, is because they know they're going to get blackballed from the entire industry in Hollywood. Right.
Yeah.
What was the Tom?
But that's already
quote?
the case. That's
she's
already.
What's the quote? You'll never work in this
Anyway,
town
so-
again. That's the quote. Yeah.
Yeah, we were bringing that up. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
So that is
already
true.
blackballed in mainstream Hollywood, and
Yeah.
I don't think that doing this lawsuit is going to burn her with any
Exactly.
It won't get
alternative
worse.
place. Right?
She
It's not
doesn't
gonna
have
get worse.
anything to lose at this point. It's
It
like,
Actually, it'll make her better with
Yes.
the alternatives. So with the
Exactly.
alternatives, it makes her
Hero.
into a hero. Yeah.
Yes, because she's a hero and she's like trying to make a lesson out of them. She's taking it back to
Trailblazer.
them, a trailblazer.
She's a
To say you
trailblazer,
can't do
yeah.
this to people.
And let's be
Yeah.
honest, and this is the other thing we need to be real clear about. Gina Carano is not a far right girl. She's not, and I'm not saying it's in a bad
Yeah.
way. She was never ideological. She was never someone who wanted to put herself out there as, conservative princess. She's no, far right person. She's a normal person who just happens to have religious beliefs, believe in God. She has a background, right? She
Yeah.
believes in certain things. She's a pretty normal girl. And the fact is, it's like, this is how extreme it is that normal women are being forced into these positions, right? I mean, even one of the things that sickens me is reading through the DEI requirements. They actually say that you can't show women taking care of children anymore. That's one of the things that's actually not allowed under the DEI rubric, right?
so
Really?
gross.
Yeah, they're not allowed to depict that. That's a stereotype. It's a harmful stereotype. They list it as a harmful
Wow.
stereotype of women taking care of children. It is really sickening. It's disgusting. And it shows us what the road we're going down, right? We're going down a very anti-family, anti-relationship, anti-societal path. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
That's shameful.
It is shameful. It is. But yeah, laws are anti-business and pro-supercorp.
then,
Let me be very clear. Most laws are passed by corporations. I mean, corporations write laws. I have actually, for corporations, written laws that they've wholesale put into law, right? So yes, corporations have a large impact on our laws, right? That is true. That is factually true. So when we say anti-business, sometimes we have to be clear that it does tend to benefit the large corporations. However, in California, they are more pro employee in general, right? So the employees have more strength vis-a-vis corporations, and that has to be applied equally, whether it's to big business or small business. And the good part about federal court is you get rid of a lot of that bias, a lot of that cronyism that would go on in state court in California.
Yeah, and then we're just going to wrap this up here with the super chats. ActionCom sends in 5 and says Midnight's Edge Amazon diversity list 2 years ago kind of makes you wonder what else Midnight's Edge could reintroduce. Yeah, I know, right?
Mhm.
And then we've got Raytor again. Thank you so much for the 100.
Thank
And
you.
Jesus Davila sending in $5 with a rose for the ladies. Thank you so much, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
And the amazing.
And ladies and gentlemen, I gotta bounce,
All right,
but
take care,
thank you
Andrew.
so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
Andrew.
me. I will catch y'all later.
Bye.
And then on that note, Magitech Mags, one of the other toxic femmes in the chat, sends in 5 and says Gina Carano's interview on Glenn Beck says it all. Sorry. She's doing this for future generations. Also, what a fighter, indeed.
Yeah, we're all rooting for you, Gina. I don't know if you're watching this or if you ever watch this, but we on Toxic Femme are all rooting for
do
you.
have
And
one Rumble chat,
Gina, you should come to Toxic Femme. Who's
yeah.
my Toxic Femme?
I am just not. I don't have the balls to ask her. That's the only reason. I
Let's
haven't.
make that happen. I really want Gina Carano
So
to come on this
We don't have
show.
balls. We'll ask her.
Yeah, we
Gina
got
doesn't
titties
really-
over here, Gina. We want you on the show.
Gina doesn't really do a whole lot of like shows in general. I know, because like this is something like because I actually got to meet Gina last weekend and it was awesome.
Oh, yay!
And so I know I had talked to Jay about it, but she doesn't really do a whole lot of shows.
I can understand
So.
why. I mean, like
She's a very
tough.
private person, understandably.
It is.
And for some reason, they would not let me post this in the YouTube chat. This is a Rumble rant.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says, yes, Andrew, fire Kara, strike her down, and she will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Again.
Again.
There you go. And thank you, Mr. TT, for that. But yeah,
Thank
for some
you,
reason,
Mr.
it would not let me post that in the regular chat. But yes, I want to thank you, ladies, for a very successful show. I'm glad to be back doing this every Monday night. I missed you all. I missed all you guys out there. Well, she is an honorary toxic femme. And of course, she's welcome anytime she would love to grace us with her presence. I did not want to ask her. I would never ask her for that. But if she wants to hop on a show like this and show off her toxic femininity, I would be more than happy to have her, of course, obviously. But let's go around the horn and see what everybody's up to. Kara, what you got going on?
Oh, I don't know. I'm playing Grand Blue Fantasy
So
Relink
you're
right
always
now.
playing video games and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you just need some chill time, that's all I really do. I play some video games on my channel. Kara Creates, right there, here on YouTube. I've got, gosh, yeah, that's it. Video games. If you like video games, that's it. That's all I got.
Yay! I like
Awesome.
video games.
Then we got Steph. What you got coming up?
Later on tonight, in about 23 minutes, we have Mario Kart on Geeks and Gamers Play. I actually host on Rumble, so you get to see my perspective, my terrible perspective. I'm the worst gamer ever. But also subscribe to my YouTube. I just did a stream this morning, and I'll be doing daily streams as well. So today I did Monday Musings, where I, went over a couple of news articles that came out today. Talked about Elon Musk, and talked about Wicked. And tomorrow it's TikTok Tuesday. Yes, unfortunately, TikTok is relevant in our society and people are on there making content. And I'm going to go and comment on it. So that's what I have tomorrow.
Hey, Biden's on there now.
On YouTube.
Yeah, Biden's apparently on there now.
I know. Yeah,
I mean, wow.
Let's talk about Biden.
And next week, Steph, I do want to talk about Wicked because we had a really cool discussion in the Toxic Femme chat. We just didn't get to it tonight, but I do want to talk to you about that more next week, hopefully. So thanks for being on tonight, and hopefully I'll see you next week.
This Hillis guy wants to know if you ever played the Diddy.
That voice gets me every time. I don't know how you're doing that.
I don't know
I
where
did
I'm
just-
at.
I did just Google what DDO is, and no, I do
DDO?
not. Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
I've never done any Dungeons and Dragons, no Pathfinder, no Warhammer, none of that. I don't have the improv skills for that. So
No, I love D&D. D&D is fun. It's a good time.
but I
But,
think that's an MMO. I did play. The only thing that would have been somewhat close to it was I played Neverwinter back in the day.
Oh my
but
God,
that's about it.
Neverwinter Nights is the best, man. I love Neverwinter
Yeah.
Nights too. So fun. So fun.
So Carrie, you're a busy lady too. I always see you streaming and doing some great stuff. I bop in and listen from time to time. What you got coming
Oh,
up?
thank you. Well, I actually just started simulcasting on Rumble. It took me forever to get on there. And thank you to Demajanite for helping me figure it out.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, coming up in person, I've got my husband and I are doing our first house concert of the year on March 29th. So if you're in the Austin, Texas area and you want info, you can contact me at dprogram with Carrie Smith. You can find me on any platform. And then Saturday, April 27th in Austin, I'll be moderating some panels for Minds Fest at the Vulcan. And they're going to have a whole bunch of comedians and speakers like Jimmy Dore and Lauren Chen and a bunch of people from Timcast. And
Nice.
it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're in Austin, Texas, that's in April. That's going to be exciting. And I hope I get to go to Nashville and see Michelle, but I don't know yet.
Knoxville, not Nashville.
Oh, Knoxville. Sorry.
Yes.
Knoxville.
I hope so too.
Oh, yay. I love when
Knoxville,
people
right.
meet. That's the best.
Anyway,
I know.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
Awesome.
good to see you, ladies.
And also Michelle, what do you got coming up?
Well, Natalie and I did our trailer reactions for both Deadpool and Wicked today. And then, let's see, later this week, we'll have our first time watching reaction of The Prestige. So that is all this week. So definitely go subscribe to us at Force Flight Entertainment. and
Wait,
check
that's Nolan, right? That's
Yeah.
Prestige Nolan.
Christopher
Did you
Nolan.
guys see that tweet that he came out like, or not tweet, but like there's like article covering that he said like that Tenet wasn't supposed to be understood, and like basically it was.
Well, it was not. It was not understood. So
I know. I was like, no shit.
Oh, I
bro.
understood
like,
it. I was just bored after 40 minutes. I'm like, fuck this. I
Nobody
don't care
got
about
it.
these people.
it was awful. It was an
It was
awful
just
movie.
so
And
bad. It was
Ugh.
his quote was really funny though. He was like, it wasn't meant to be
He
understood.
has this thing with like every
Like-
other movie is good. Like, and then every other one is just like
Yeah.
kind of
He's a hit
batshit
and miss.
craziness.
He's fucking crazy, but in the
But
best way.
some people love him. But yes, so Nina, what do you got coming up here?
Well, I'm back. I'm trying to get better though, because I am sick. I have like the travel bug. But I am back, so I will be. Hopefully, I'll be doing a Wednesday show. If I don't, I'll definitely be doing a Friday show. So I'll be back for Good News, Infinite Hope on my channel on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'm planning on dropping some other videos as well, and planning on updating you guys with some bit of news. So keep an eye out for all of that. And I'm so glad to be back on Toxic Femme. Toxic Femme was super fun. I'm so happy to be back here and doing this show, because I really did miss you guys the last 2 weeks. I was like, oh, Toxic Femme, I miss you. But I'm glad that we're all back, and it was a great show tonight. So thanks everybody on the panel. Thank you, Andrew, for coming by. It was a great show tonight. Oh, and we were supposed to have Chandler Remington on tonight, but she had internet issues and she couldn't make it. She's really sorry. So hopefully she'll be joining us next week as well.
Well, we got Andrew in her stead. So
yeah.
Thank you for Andrew once again. Legal Mindset. Check out Legal Mindset. Of course, does great stuff over there. Love Andrew. But yeah, hopefully next week we'll have more to discuss with that as well. But thank you, ladies, so very much for making this a great show. As always, like I said, I miss you. I don't feel complete unless I get to do the show. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Check out all these ladies on their respective channels and YouTubes, Twitters, and all the places that they're at. And with that, I want to thank Jay for being here as well. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. This
As
is never
usual,
going to get old.
Is that who was coughing?
Yes, that wasn't me. That was
that's
Jay.
the guy. Yeah.
Totally
it was-
Jay.
it was
Jay, what do you have to
Jay.
say for yourself? He left.
And it's Jay's like Gina Carano's biggest supporter too, so that's why he was here, because we were talking about her, so he was hanging out
And
with
I'm Jay's
us.
biggest fan.
He was watching our P's and Q's for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to thank everybody, of course, once again. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will see
Bye,
you next
everybody.
time.
Good night.
Wrong one.
Whoa.
No more Our time knows.